I'm MoeZ, and this is my dog Widget. Yeah, she's my baby girl.
All right.
She gets hers before I get mine. Yes, sir. I don't know where to start, or that's the thing. I'd like to do YouTube, but I wouldn't know what to do. Yep. I was born in Dade City, raised here in Tampa mostly. And this is where I spent my younger years, here in Tampa mostly. It's a pretty good life growing up, but here recently it's horrible. I don't know. I want to move away, but my kids are all here, and my grandkids. So that's the only thing holding me back. But other than that, I don't know. I'm about ready to start moving around, traveling around the local area, stay local with my doctors, so I can see my doctors and all. I want to go out fishing and get out more, like I used to do. I used to take trips up to the Alapai with the Coochie National Forest, places like that, ride my e-bike. You know, I used to have fun doing it, but I don't know. I just don't have the energy no more. I took off from here and went traveling around. I worked for Bayliner Boats for a while in North Carolina. I had an accident, cut my fingers off. They sewed them back on, but 2 weeks after I went back to work, they laid me off. So, and I was going to hitchhike to Washington, the main office, and try and get my job back because I loved working there. And I kind of got stuck on the streets, loving that life, traveling. And when I got to Montana, like I was telling you before, I hitchhiked there for 2 weeks trying to get out, couldn't get out, and that guy picked me up. He was an engineer, he just changed shifts. He was an engineer on the trains, asked me why I was hitchhiking. He'd seen me there every day for weeks. And he stopped and put me on the boxcar, and he told me all about riding, and I started riding trains, and I rode trains for about 7 years. And I've had some bad experiences, like one time in Billings when I almost got decapitated. Grabbed my pants leg and it was dragging me. I was riding on my backpack, hitting the railroad ties, bump, 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 my arm right there by the wheels, and it pulled loose. If you throw your pack on the train and go to jump on, you'll get a boot in your face if there's somebody on the train. They'll take your stuff. They'll just kick you off the train and it'll keep going with everything you got. So you have to jump on with it on. So I strapped it down tight, and when I grabbed the ladder, I went bam, I hit against the side of the train and it knocked me loose. And messed my ankle up. I laid there for a while, and then I got back on the train about 2 weeks later, went on into Minneapolis, stayed there 2 weeks, and I decided I didn't like Minneapolis anymore. And I was staying by the railroad tracks by the ball fields there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it was nice. I liked it for a couple of weeks, and then I got back on the train, headed back, got to Spokane, stayed there for a few weeks. Go down to the river in Spokane. I'm walking down a place they call People's Park. I'm going through this path. Guy comes out, wanted to sell me a joint. And I said, no, thank you. I walked out and walked through the trees, and everybody's naked out there.
Oh, where's that at?
Oh my God, it's in Spokane.
Oh,
place
wow.
they call People's Park.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. And, you know, that was a nice little spot. And I left there, went to Seattle for a while. I was living right on the dock, right on the boat dock there. And that was nice there in Seattle for a while. I went to Morrison's, which is a shelter there, public shelter. It's a big open room, but they just put the mattress down at night and you sleep. And I can't stay in places like that. There's too many rules. So I'm back out on the streets again. I go up the side of the hill on the interstate, and I'm living up the side of the steep hill like that. It's like it's hard to get up and down. The rain's there, you go up 2 feet, slide down in the mud. You're just struggling to get up the hill. There was an old tree house up there. Well, I stayed in that tree house for a while. Imperial Beach, that's the last public beach before Mexico down there. I was staying down there. It was beautiful down there. And I went to this hot dog stand. They throw out hot dogs, you know, at night, and I'm there to get the hot dogs, and I'd leave. And I come back one night, and there was a note on the dumpster. If you're the bum that's going through our dumpster, stay out. And I took the note, taped it on the door, and lit it on fire, and then put it out. The next night I went up there, and they were all in a nice clean gallon can, all wrapped up, ready for it.
He got the point. He got the point there.
Yeah, and
sometimes people can be very bully or cruel to homeless people.
Yeah, well, all I was doing was trying to eat, you know.
Yeah, well,
I didn't have no income. I'd go to the plasma center and donate plasma for money, go down to Mexico and buy my cigarettes. And my friend Chris, he was a bad alcoholic. He'd get him a gallon jug of vodka every time we go down. Twice a week we go to Mexico because everything was cheaper down there. You could live on $20 a week. And this was back in the 80s. I'm sure it's higher now.
Oh, yeah. Mexico's almost like the U.S. today. It's just a little bit cheaper.
That's what I hear. Even the rent is outrageous.
$800 or $900.
Yeah. But it was nice. We got ran off from there. Cops come up. We had a big timber up in our fire. And Chris is up there with his vodka. I'm the god of hellfire with his vodka, drinking it. And cops come from everywhere. They come up, first thing they said, you can't live here. Park bench and sit your bags down.
Yeah.
They'd arrest you for illegal lodging.
In San Diego?
Yeah. I stepped off the curb and they gave me a jaywalking ticket and told me, don't even pay it, just leave.
Wow. So they were trying to keep the homeless out of San Diego.
Yeah, they were kicking us out to clean it up.
So I was in San Diego about a year ago.
Yeah.
I bet you there's 10,000 homeless downtown right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. What the mother crap, bro? We might have a problem here. So that didn't really work for him, did it? All the strict.
Yeah.
So
then I went to Cardiff by the sea and started cooking donuts at VIP Donuts and living at the campgrounds. It was great. I loved it there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cardiff by the Sea. It's a area in California that's by the sea.
But the first night I went to work, I come back home to my camp, gonna get a shower and get all the grease off and change clothes, and my whole camp was gone, even the firewood. Guys just took everything, and some other people gave me a tent and helped me out. It was nice there. I loved it there. Then I went back to San Diego, and a guy in a bus come by and getting up with people. Mayor Connor was the first woman mayor down there, and we took over her office for the homeless. We were trying to get the Balboa Hospital for the homeless, and we just walked in and everything, and they said, sit your packs down here by the door. And I said, I ain't sitting my pack down there to get stolen. You know, I walked down the aisle, sitting in the aisle, because there was no other seats. All the homeless had done took them. And I sat on my pack. I was holding the sign, the poor would take it no more. And then the interview with me there.
You're on the front page of which one?
LA Times, San Diego edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had you on the front page holding a big sign?
Yeah.
What year was that?
It was in the 80s, the late 80s. I'm not sure the year. The years all run together back then. And that was fun. But what it did accomplish, they didn't let us have the hospital, but what it did accomplish, they built a brand new mission downtown for the homeless, a real nice place for them. So we did get something accomplished with that. And then another time, I was up in Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, up there, and we went out in the forest protesting the lumber industry and all that. And that was fun times. I don't know. I used to ride the trains. I'd stay in Seattle in the summer, and then I'd haul butt down to Arizona for the winter, because I did one winter in Seattle, and I didn't want to do it again.
Oh, they're brutal. A lot of rain or cold, or what?
It's cold and rain, and you know, it's not real cold because of the way the sound. You know, Seattle's like a bowl, and you know, that warmth off the sound keeps it kind of warm, but it's survivable. Seattle, we had to live on loading docks or under the overpass because of the rain and all. So I went on back down to Arizona. I'm down there.
Arizona. And you can't remember your name because there's no.
A friend of mine gets him a 40 ounce of beer. I drank Coca-Cola then. I didn't drink it all then. And we got a nickel of weed. And we go down to the tracks and get up in a boxcar. And we're sitting there smoking a little bowl, and he's drinking his 40 ouncer, and here come the police. They were running us out of there. They took rocks, got us out of the train car, took rocks, throwing it at the beer until they busted his beer. It was way at the end of the boxcar. They run us out of there. That was fun times. But they didn't do anything. I mean, you got to get on the train. You got to find a place to hide, because when you go through them hot yards, the railroad bulls, which is the railroad detectives, they want to take you and run you off, which is their job. It's a game to us, you know. They run us off, and we get back on, wave at them, and leave. Going back to Washington, we'll get through Needles, California, after we go across the canyon and all there on the railroads. It's beautiful. And then out of nowhere, it just starts sprinkling a little, but the tracks start washing out behind the train. You can see it coming down the hillside.
So we've got on the road, we've got rocks already. This is definitely a sketchy scenario.
Up in the high desert in California, and engineer just guns it. You know, I mean, he had to be doing over 100. That thing was flying. Cars just jumping around. It's scary. But you can watch the tracks just washing out. That was a close call. That was scary times. Another time you get on one and the boxcar jumping around, and I get off and try to change cars, and there's not another ride on the train. So I had to ride on the front step of a boxcar, which is about a foot wide, and it has a handrail. I took my belt and put around the handrail because I had to ride like 300 miles there. Once I got on, there was no getting back off. They didn't stop.
So your childhood growing up, how was your childhood growing up? You think it was normal or a little difficult?
It was pretty normal up until I was 11 years old. In 1966, I got ran over by a car on Hillsborough Avenue at Sheldon Rocky Creek Bridge. There at Hillsborough Avenue, just past Sheldon Road, I got ran over by the car, and it laid me up for years. And
so at 11 years old, you were disabled?
Yes. I've been disabled since I was 11.
How did that affect you, let's say, going into school and the rest of your life?
Well, I missed 2 years of school. They didn't have homeschooling or tutors or nothing like that. And we weren't a rich family. My dad lived paycheck to paycheck. We couldn't afford, private teachers or anything. So I just missed those years. I learned from comic books and TV.
Yeah.
But,
so after that accident, were you able to walk, or were you crippled?
No, I had to learn to walk again and everything. I couldn't walk for like 5 years.
So from about 11 to 15, let's say, you weren't...
11 to 14.
You were in a wheelchair, let's say?
I was in a flat on my back for about 2 years of it. And then I was in a wheelchair, then the crutches.
All right. A lot of times when people end up in a wheelchair, they might think that it's going to be for the rest of their life,
well,
right?
They told me I'd never walk again. The doctors did. They told me I'd be crippled all my life. But you can't tell a kid that's watching the other kids out playing baseball. My mom would carry me across the street. They had an empty field where they played baseball. They carried me across the street, and I'd sit in a lawn chair and watch them. And they can't just tell you you're not going to walk again. You're going to walk. I got up with 2 canes and tried to walk out of my wheelchair, and I fell and broke my hip. so I've had a bad time.
So this is important because a lot of times when people end up in that situation, they really believe they're never going to be able to walk again.
Yeah, they'll believe the doctor.
Right. And
if I was an adult, I probably would have believed it.
Right.
But I was a kid, and I was determined that, I was raised by a Marine sergeant. You can't just tell somebody something and they're going to believe that. But
you were able to walk, and now you're almost 70 and you still ride your bike?
Yeah, it's an electric bike, But before I got my electric bike, that was 5 years I've been on it. But before I got it, I had a regular bike. But I had osteomyelitis again, about 12, 14 years ago, which put me flat on my back in a hospital bed and everything for another year. And so I had to learn to walk again and everything again. And I had to go through the wheelchair and the crutches and the cane and go through all that again. And I got my electric bike. I was still using a cane and all, which I do occasionally now. But ever since I got that electric bike, I get around a lot better. So I even had a 3-wheel bike for a while after, I had to get around. You can't tell me it's over. I'm going to keep going. But it was okay. I pulled through it. I've been through that scenario like 4 different times in my life.
Okay.
Now, back then they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Now they know I've been diagnosed with chronic osteomyelitis, which is going to always be there. I'm always on antibiotics the rest of my life. People don't help you.
People don't help you when you're down and out.
No, they don't help you. Everybody's out for themselves, man. Nobody helps anyone. You've helped me more than any, and you haven't hardly done anything, you know?
You've helped me, though.
Yeah.
You've helped me a lot.
I don't, but, you know, it's not about the money for me. I just like people. There's not many people I trust.
Yeah.
I used to trust everyone until they proved different.
Yeah.
But I found you can't do that out here. You can trust no one until they prove they can be trusted. That's the way you have to live, and I don't like it, but that's just the way it is.
I think if you're smart, you'll find mutual benefit relationships where both people win.
Yeah.
The problem is that people don't know how to be fair. You know, it's always one-sided.
Yeah, everybody's out for themselves.
Yeah.
And what they can get, mostly. Like my friend that I was talking about, we had a run in here a little while back.
Yeah.
Arguing over a damn phone camera.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling him my phone has a good camera and all, and he wanted to argue about it. And I didn't realize how crazy the guy was. He is nuts. He gets up the hill and he runs back down in my tent, comes in there and says, "I'll kill you." Oh, man, chill out, buddy. You know, I talked him down, but he just got so upset. I wish he hadn't. I understand, you know, he couldn't help it. But I wish he'd come back around, but he hasn't been back, and I miss him. He's my friend, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully you can work that out.
Yeah, I'm going to go by and see him one day.
Yeah, go by and
cool
see him.
Off a while. I bought him a little weather radio with a hand crank.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can charge your phone and all that with him. I bought him one of those, and, you know, before this happened. It got delivered yet.
A lot of people out here have a lot of mental problems.
Yeah, he does. He's violent. He's, what do you call it? Oh, there's lizards everywhere.
They're huge,
I got
man.
pictures of them. I got pictures of a two-tailed lizard, one with two tails and stuff. Well, coffee's hot. Oh, she's waiting. I laid up and I couldn't be around other kids, so when I turned 15 and started getting around again, I had to prove to everyone else that I can do anything they can do. So I was really crazy back then. I would do anything. I'd jump off bridges in 2 foot of water. I do crazy stuff just to show them I can do more than they can do. And it was just a bad life growing up, you know. But it wasn't too bad. I mean, I enjoyed it.
When you're sleeping outdoors, you could have a raccoon come in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah,
you could have a bear, a cat. I mean, any times where you've been like sleeping, and just like an animal pops into the camp, or
we had a problem with raccoons at my other camp, but not so much here. Now that I got my dog, she keeps things run away pretty good. But raccoons, you couldn't keep nothing around. They come in and get into everything. You couldn't get it out of their reach. I mean, they're tricky, smart little suckers. I mean, they'll get into everything.
Yeah.
And I had one come in, he had rabies or something. He was crazy. He stood up on his hind legs like this, growling and hissing at me, and he just went nuts, and he could barely move. He was just falling around and everything. And I just got away from him. That was scary, though. I thought he was going to attack me. I got up and come by my tent, and there he was.
Yeah.
You know, I left all day, and then he was gone when I got back. So, that was a scary time. That little raccoon scared me because I knew he was sick. There was something wrong with him.
Yeah.
But I've had some times with him out here. And I used to like, when I first started seeing them, I'd like to watch them play. There was a mother and a little babies that would come around, and they'd play around on my table and, you know, run and play. And I enjoyed it at first, but then it got to be too much. They just tear up everything. I'd come in and I'd get in my tent and I could smell it in there.
Oh.
You know, where they'd come in on my bed, they'd stink.
Yeah.
They stink. Yeah.
You ever deal with like alligators or snakes? I think a lot of people were asking.
Alligators, there's one that comes around here. The other day I'm up at the store, and there's one big as you are, big around as you, coming out of the culvert there.
Yeah.
Right there at the store. And
your little dog when you first got him.
Yeah.
Nice. So you got it from a puppy?
Yeah.
Did a friend give it to you?
My daughter.
Your daughter gave it to you?
Well, my granddaughter.
Granddaughter, okay. So on that last video, we didn't say your name.
Well, they call me MoeZ out here.
MoeZ.
Yeah. But my family name is Doug, my middle name, because I'm a junior.
Mhm.
So I was called Doug all my life. Yeah.
So MoeZ, they want to know what type of music you like.
I like old rock, anything from 60s to like 75.
Okay.
There's a few good, little bit of good music after 75, but mostly before 1975.
So what would have been when you were growing up, right? What would have been the music people like would have, if you're going out on a date with a girl?
We were listening to Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Deep Purple, Pink Floyd, Grand Funk Railroad, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. You know, mostly Woodstock. Look at Woodstock. You'll see
Woodstock
90%
music.
of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff like that. After 75, it just got to be, it was all about the money to them and not about the music.
Gotcha.
So I don't listen to much new music.
Okay.
There are a few new artists come out with some songs, but
All right, something new from today that you would listen to, or newer in general.
I can't think of anything nowadays.
Country, rock,
I listen to old country.
old country,
Old rock. Old rock, I mean.
old rock.
Yeah, old rock and roll. From 75, from 60s to 75.
All right.
You know, a lot of the Doors, you know. Just older music.
You don't listen to like bluegrass or
Oh
anything?
yeah, I like bluegrass.
You like bluegrass?
Yeah,
I like
the
bluegrass.
Nowadays, that's about, you know, the newer music. Bluegrass is good. I like
Yeah.
that. I mean, they're in their 90s up there playing. I don't know. That's just a joke.
Well, I was Uber driving.
Dollars for tickets. And
Yeah.
then, you know.
Oh yeah, I was Uber driving recently. I had this guy who was like 80 years old, mostly, 80-year-old guy in a wheelchair, and I asked him, "What would you listen to when you were young?" He said Led Zeppelin. So I told my phone, I said, "Hey phone, play Led Zeppelin," and that stuff's good, man.
Led Zeppelin's one of my favorites.
Yeah, man, very mellow.
It's kind of, I don't know, you couldn't say a lot of things on the radio back then. So
Yeah.
they go in a roundabout way. It was mostly about sex and, you know, about the girls. The girls love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this older guy, he told me about it, so I listened to it. In my mind, I thought Led Zeppelin was more like, when I think about the word rock, I think guitar.
Yeah.
You know, like heavy metal guitar.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Page, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how you shower?
Yeah. I hook it up. I have a 12-volt water pump, transfer pump that I hook up to my solar and carry buckets of water.
Okay.
And clean up with these in the meantime. Those are wonderful.
Okay, bath sponges.
Yeah, those are the best.
Okay,
I use them every day. I
Okay.
go through 2 bags of these a month.
okay.
So that's the main reason. And then I take a shower, you know, occasionally, but about once a week. But these are daily.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So basically, if there's a creek or something nearby,
I have a creek right here.
you have a creek and you can just run a pump to
Actually,
it. But so if there's a creek or a river or a body of water nearby,
Yeah.
you
there's
can run a
creek,
pump to
yeah.
it.
Mostly I haul water and I take a shower with my little pump with 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, 5-gallon
Or
buckets.
gallon jugs is what
Yeah.
I used to do, but
All
I
right.
bought a little pump and it makes it easier for my old age.
Yeah, your age, it's difficult to do it by hand. I used the word hobo in the title. Do you think that's disrespectful or no?
No, but I'm no longer a hobo. I'm
Gotcha.
not traveling on the trains. I used to be a hobo.
Okay, so a hobo is somebody who
it's
travels
not
on trains.
disrespectful. That is a harmful word.
It's a
That
yeah,
comes from back during the Depression when people were traveling on the trains to
Yeah.
work.
yeah.
They were out looking for work. They take their bag of clothes and a little bit of food and they tie it on their hoe and carry that with them, and that's where they got the name hobo.
Gotcha.
Hoboy was what they called them because
Yeah.
they work in the fields with their hoe.
Oh, gotcha.
And the word came from that.
Traveling farm people and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like migrant
Gotcha.
workers nowadays. But
Yeah.
they were just the down and out during the Depression, traveling to feed their families.
Gotcha.
That's where the
So
word
I don't
came
think
from.
it's some people think it's an offensive term. I don't think it's offensive. I think
I don't think it's offensive
it's
either.
actually
You
even
know,
glamorized. It's like
it's honorable. It's honorable. It's
yeah.
not like tramp or whatever. You know.
Oh, I see. I saw some people saying they call them tramps too.
Yeah, they
I
call
think
them
the word
tramps a lot.
hobo isn't this.
They're
I think
not
it's
the ones
honorable.
out working though. They're the ones out stealing and whatever.
Right. Because I feel like
Malicious
the
people.
word hobo to me, I mean, it's like an honorable thing. It's somebody who is an adventurer.
Yeah, they're out traveling to work.
Yeah,
They're
somebody who
following
has a
they're
story.
following the crops and
Yeah.
working and feeding their families. And,
Right.
that's mostly what the hobos were.
I agree, yeah.
You get to a hobo camp, there'll be a few coming in from different places. That's the way it was when I was traveling.
Yeah, you share the food and make like a camp
we'd
stew
all
or
make
something.
One big meal for everybody there, and whatever everybody had, or if you didn't have anything,
Yeah.
it was okay. But everybody put something in, and we'd always scrape up a meal from somewhere.
Gotcha.
I mean, we'd eat fiddle leaf ferns and cactus tails and roots and cattail roots, and I've eaten a lot of the wild plants.
Yeah. Explain to people what a swamp cabbage is.
Well, it's a heart of palm. It actually is what it is. You get these cabbage palms here in Florida, and you get one that's about 3-4 foot tall. They're the best. They're young. You cut it down and you peel it down to the heart. You get it out like boots pull off it. They call it a boot. Pull it off till you get the soft heart. And you chop it up, put it in your pot, and cook it with like a piece of fat back or bacon or something, and it's like cabbage.
So it has to be
swamp
cooked.
cabbage.
It has to be cooked.
You can eat it raw.
You can eat it raw. Does it taste
but
good or
it's
no?
Better cooked.
Cooked?
With the season, you cook it like you would cabbage.
Okay.
That's where it gets its name, swamp cabbage.
Okay. So a lot of people that are homeless don't even know they can eat that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Most people from down here that are homeless aren't from here.
They don't know anything about that.
They don't know nothing about anything like that.
Yeah. You ever been to the Swamp Cabbage Festival in LaBelle, Florida? There's a town,
No, I haven't.
little town called LaBelle. They have a Swamp Cabbage
I know.
Festival.
They have them in a few places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else in Florida that you can use for your benefit, like for survival?
Just plenty of water and fish. I mean, my dad used to say you couldn't starve him to death in Florida.
Oh wow, there's a lot of animals out there.
There's always something to eat in Florida. You got the swamp cabbage. Used to be there were plums, wild plums, and stuff like that. The only place you can find stuff like that now is up on the ridge of Florida, going through Winter Haven. Up there, along there, you can find some of the natural foods and stuff.
Yeah.
But everything is gone. It's all turned to this.
Yeah. Told me your father was the type of guy that wouldn't let you lie, wouldn't let you steal.
No, he wasn't. He was a Marine sergeant, so it was tough. He was a good guy. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
You think he did a good job?
I had my rebellious years, but
Yeah.
I still, everything stuck that he tried to teach me. I think I'm being a good person now. I'm trying to be a much better person. A lot of the values in life he instilled on me, I try to live by.
Gotcha.
Try to be honest, don't hurt no one. Main thing is, there's one rule I go by. Do nothing with malicious intent. Anything done maliciously, that's the worst. That's the only sin there is, in my book. Anything done with malicious intent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people can mess up by accident and all that. That's
Yeah.
one mistake. But when you're maliciously out there doing that, that makes you an evil person.
Yeah. I mean, there's already enough evil out there to contribute
That's
to it.
I mean, those malicious people that are out there just intentionally doing evil, bad things, there's no place on this earth for people like that. I mean, they're just horrible people. I try to stay away from that. And it's getting to where there's more and more and more of them. I mean, all the new people, all the old people out here, that live out here know me. They don't bother me.
Yeah.
We're all friends and we get along. But we get new people come in every now and then, and it's bad. I bought a pizza and the guy snatches it right off my bite in front of me and just starts walking away with it. Like, so what? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. I just walked up and took it back from him, and then he wanted to fight about it, and I just walked away from him. I couldn't believe how blatant he was. He just takes it and just looks at me and just starts walking away like I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah. And you're older, he's probably younger?
Yeah, he was a young guy in his 20s and thought, this old man, I'll just take his stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work like that.
A lot of the young people today, they're so lost that there's no... I was just in a camp earlier today, and there was just needles everywhere.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean
seen that.
everywhere. Every square inch of ground here is nothing but needle caps. Everywhere you look. Look at this, guys. Unbelievable. Dude, that is insane right there, bro. Here's somebody's credit card. Shocking about this site is everywhere you look are needle caps. There's one right there. There's one here. One here. Right? It's like everywhere you look are signs of addiction. There's a needle right here, right? Here's a needle. Here's a needle cap right here. Everywhere.
I've seen that in other places. Go up and there's just needles everywhere. You won't find nothing like that here.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Maybe the only thing you'll find here is a empty container from the.
Well, you have your card. It's legal.
I have my card. It's legal.
It's
I just
legal.
got my new one for this year.
Does it help you with your pain with your back?
Oh yes, it helps me, ease me a lot. What it does, it relaxes me and just, it's miraculous what it does.
Okay.
I mean, without that, I'm tense and it's just, I'm in pain all the time. But that, it eases the pain and makes it livable.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
It's not the real sharp, intense pains you get.
Okay. So you use it for medicinal purposes?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay, the way it's legally intended to be used.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of people.
I can get an eighth of it, which is like $30 there, and it lasts me a good 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks.
Okay, so it's not excessive amounts.
No. I just smoke occasionally, not even every day. I haven't smoked in like 2 days now.
Okay.
So today's the third day.
Yeah.
Before they made the flower legal, we had to get the concentrates and all that. I didn't like that stuff. That would just whack me out.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I'm so glad they made the flower legal. I've been on it since they had it.
Yeah.
As soon as I got here. I mean, it cost me $200 every 6 months for the doctor, and then you got $75 for the state.
Yeah.
Once a year.
Yeah. A lot of people on the streets don't spend any money on doctors at all.
I do.
Okay.
I have copay and all that sometimes until my amount is met, and then I go the rest of the year. Yeah.
I mean, I have.
Well, they don't actually need it. Then, if they can't spend money on it, there's something wrong. They don't need it.
Well, priorities.
I need it.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Priorities. They're drugs.
Yeah. Priorities.
I mean, I seen a guy starve himself to death over that spice.
Yeah.
What they call sushi.
Yeah.
He said he would not buy food or nothing. I fed him and all, but he wouldn't do anything but buy that sushi. He'd go out there, panhandle, get money, and he'd buy sushi.
So it's good when you see people like that to give them food, not money.
Yeah.
Give them food,
Give
not
them
money.
food.
Food.
Give them food, not money, because the money is just going to drugs.
Yeah.
It's.
And if you give them too much money, you can overdose them.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes. That will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food.
Like right now around here, the people are just going nuts around here.
Not only do you take care of your health, but also your little companion. What's your companion's name?
Widget.
Widget, your little doggy.
She comes first.
Okay, so do you take care of her?
Oh yes, I take very good care of her.
How often does she go to the vet?
She goes to the vet every 2 months.
Okay.
And she got all of her shots. And I got to get her nails clipped though. But
yeah, you said it has.
She got all of her shots. I get her flea medicine, heartworm medicine every 2 months. I pay for that. I give it to her every month.
She looks healthy. She's nice and
she
fat.
Gets it. She gets her medicine before I get mine. She
Wow.
is my baby. Yep, she's my baby doll.
All right. There's a lot of people in the other video were saying her nails were too long, but you said you tried trimming them and they just.
She bites me. She just goes crazy.
She doesn't like it.
I got one trimmed. Well, I got two. I'm getting one every now and then. When she'll be asleep, I go up and I'll clip one. Now I found out how to do it. I can take a light and I can shine it on her nails and find a blood vein.
Oh, okay.
See, I just learned this. And
all right.
now I'm doing it. And I'll get some more.